Hello everybody, my name is Attari from CUTV and I'm here at the Fantasia Film Festival, where I'm sitting here with Mr. Steve Mitchell, director of one of the films that is being projected this summer at the festival, King Cohen, The Wild World of filmmaker Larry Cohen. So Mr. Mitchell, what gave you the idea to make this documentary on Mr. Cohen?
The IMDb kind of gave me the idea. One day I was looking up a credit of Larry's, and then I noticed as a writer he had literally an armload of credits. What I didn't really know was, while he was doing his film work, he was also writing a lot of mainstream television and feature scripts. And I was producing DVD special features, and I knew I needed to do a project of my own. I said, Larry might be the guy, because there was a hook. He sort of beat the system in every way, and that made him intriguing to me, and that's how it got started.
Mr. Mitchell, from having seen your documentary, we've noticed the many people you've interviewed, and we were just wondering, how did you get all those people together?
Michael Moriarty, who we knew was key to the documentary, who wrote for a blog. And I said, I'll write an email to the guy who runs the blog. And then 24 hours after I sent the email, I got a phone call. And I pick up the phone and I say, hi, this is Steve. And he goes, hello, Steve. Michael Moriarty. And Larry helped us with Yaphet Kotto, and one of my producing partners, Dan McKeon, was on Martin Scorsese from the beginning because we really wanted Martin Scorsese to be in there. And it's just a lot of hunting and gathering and detective work and stuff, but that's kind of part of the fun too.
I was wondering, how did your interest in filmmaking begin? Did you have a start perhaps similar to Mr. Cohen? Did you start off as a comedian and from there developed an interest in writing and directing?
I watched a lot of stuff, and movies kind of became my religion, and the theater is a church. And like Larry, I'm a huge movie fan. I'm always watching movies, and I think that's how I discovered Larry's stuff.
Other than obviously having a passion in filmmaking, what do you think you have in common with Mr. Cohen?
Well, I have a lot in common with Larry in terms of fondness for film, and we're both from New York. So we have that New Yorker DNA. I saw a lot of his stuff theatrically, and his movies represent a time to me that's sort of nostalgic because some of his best work was done in the 70s and the early 80s. Those were my New York years. And I can relate to the New York sensibilities. That's the other thing that I really like about Larry's movies.
Can you tell us about your favorite Larry Cohen film? Is it Q, the Winged Serpent?
I saw Q the day it opened when it played in New York. I saw the poster and I said, I don't know what this is. I know it's a Larry Cohen movie, but I got to go see this. Because the idea of any kind of a monster movie in New York, that's just red meat for a guy like me. And The Ambulance is a very close second because The Ambulance is one nutty, crazy ride. And like all of Larry's movies, it has a great idea or ideas at the center of it, in addition to being fun.
What advice would you give to apprentice filmmakers who are trying to get into the professional field in order to become professionals like yourself?
If you want to do film, you have to understand that you have to get financed. The illusion of going to a studio and having a pitch somewhere and saying, we're going to make this a go picture. It doesn't really happen. So that's one piece of advice. The other thing is watch a lot of films, learn the vocabulary of movies, understand how movies are made. It's important to know how to write because you can't just show up as a director. You have to show up bringing almost something else to the dance.
It's alive.
Can you hear me? It can't be saved. It's gotta die.
It's alive.
Nowadays you can't just do a movie about one thing. It's like if you can compress double genres together, much like the way Larry does with Q, the Winged Serpent, and a lot of his films. His movies aren't just about the tropes of genre. Q is essentially a New York street crime movie or cop movie and a flying monster movie. Those are strange bedfellows, but the idea of putting different genres together, I think, is a component for successful storytelling as well.
Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Mitchell.
Oh, my great pleasure.
King Cohen, The Wild World of filmmaker Larry Cohen.